Okay, I'm talking about dragons again. I can finally get to this fire bullshit. Okay, some people talked about the insanity of the whole Daenerys just blowing everything up to an extent, but not really. They weren't really that thorough about it. And let's start back in the previous episode where she has Rhaegal blown out of the sky right next to her with 3 consecutive scorpion shots that were a shot in a million. How the hell? Was that all from one boat or was that from multiple boats? I can't tell because we only ever see Euron behind the trigger. So they're reloading and aiming and never missing an extremely difficult shot from a long way away, as though these people have been raised from birth how to operate these scorpions that didn't even exist prior to recent history and have never had any experience firing on dragons in their lives, but bam, 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 3 shots right into a dragon that doesn't get to have any action whatsoever in the final battle, and it goes to the ocean in a pathetic, unceremonial death. And what does Daenerys do? She gets a little sad, inexplicably decides to fly straight at all the boats who suddenly can't hit fucking shit anymore, even though previously being able to hit 3 bullseyes right in a goddamn row, like in a matter of seconds. In a matter of seconds, 3 impossible shots in a row, and now the entire fleet can't fucking hit the biggest dragon of all. But that's not the worst part by any means whatsoever. I took a closer look at these boats because I was trying to understand. I was like, wait a minute, so why doesn't she just burn them all from behind? Why doesn't she burn them all from behind? Do they have these fucking scorpions on the back, on the sides? Do they pivot quickly? None of it added up because no, they don't have scorpions on the back. And in the next episode, all she does is fly from the side and burn down the entire fleet with 1 dragon while barely even being threatened. So answer me this. After she watches one of her children die and go into the ocean, she doesn't decide to burn the fleet. She doesn't fly from behind and burn the fleet. That bothered me during that episode very badly. And then during the follow-up episode, seeing that, yes, she could have done it after all, it just became unbearable. And it's not just the fact that she could have come from the side or behind and burned them or taken at least some form of vengeance besides flying her dragon straight into harm's way without him even breathing one little puff of fucking fire. She left her people to be massacred. No one's mentioned that. All the videos I've watched, no one's mentioned that Dany abandoned her fucking people, her army, to be massacred by those ships full of scorpions. She's like, oh, well, my child died. I'm an extremely vengeful, emotional bitch, but you know what? I'm going to just leave. I'm going to leave after my child is killed and let these boats just massacre my fleet instead of burning them the way I'm going to in the next goddamn episode. And then everyone rallies right back to her. No one says, hey, Dany, thanks for leaving us out there. You are the only person on the planet with a fire-breathing fucking dragon that could have helped, but cool, fly away. Our faith in you has been diminishing episode by episode, but we're going to stand by you no matter what. Okay. So, she doesn't just burn the fleet down. The boats explode on impact. On impact. Do you understand? These boats look like every single one of them is filled with bombs. Not old-time bombs, but like state-of-the-art, modern-day bombs that could level cities. And at the slightest hint of dragon breath, everything just fucking incinerates. Goes to shreds. Not just wooden boats, but the city. The city, boom. People are falling down before the dragon breath even gets to them. And no one's mentioned that either. I understand that maybe Drogon has gotten really powerful, but atomic bomb breath? I mean, you're acting like there is a seismic blast going out in front of the fire breath that's knocking the city down before the flames even get there. He breathes fire. He breathes fire. It might be a really strong, hot fire, but it's just fire. It's fire. It's fucking fire that is somehow just turning stone and pillars into nothing. It all goes flying. She killed the entire golden horde or whatever those fucking worthless pieces of shit were called in one goddamn move. Come on. Come on. Fucking come on. An entire fleet, you know, what are they all facing the same direction? Not realizing they were going to be facing a flying dragon. An entire fleet can't get off a fucking shot. You know, there's one thing about them missing, but like suddenly none of them can get off a goddamn shot. The entire wall of King's Landing can't get off a fucking shot. The entire city of King's Landing couldn't think to build scorpions facing a different direction. The Red Keep itself didn't want a fucking scorpion or two. Even if you were going to be a prideful bitch like Cersei and you didn't want the scorpion on display, you couldn't have one like in hiding that you wheel out as a last defense? Are you going up against dragons or not? It's not even worth talking about, and I'm ashamed of myself that I'm spending time doing it. But, you know, no one listens to anything about actually saving the planet. So let me talk about shitty fucking writing on a show that you're actually paying attention to. Okay, let's rewind to a couple of seasons ago where she and all three dragons burned the boats of Meereen. Yes, the dragons are younger and a little bit smaller, but they were still dragons. It's not like they were a different species of creature. And they are double and sometimes triple teaming boats and spending time on one boat, trying to burn one boat down. Then suddenly, dragon breath is destroying things before the fucking fire even touches shit. I repeat, people are falling down before the blast even reaches them, and bricks are flying apart as though an atomic bomb went off. I hope I don't need to talk about the idiocy that Daenerys, who is consumed with rage, decides not to go and kill and make quadruple sure to kill the person who beheaded her close friend and has been her quote-unquote nemesis throughout this entire series. Nah, I got time to go and slaughter people in the street. Women, men, children, doesn't matter who it is. I'm just going to go back and forth on this all day long before going and killing the person that I'm actually mad about, and then doesn't actually even kill that person. In fact, at the very end of the episode, you can see that most of the Red Keep is still standing, although the rest of King's Landing has been burnt and leveled. So Dany actually failed to level the Red Keep. The only thing that she actually should have cared about leveling. Tell me how that's not absolutely fucking exceptionally, insanely stupid. And even if you were naive and stupid enough to assume that the destruction of a portion of the Red Keep was enough to kill Cersei, if you were that consumed with anger and rage toward a person, wouldn't you want to confirm it in some way? But no, a big portion of the Red Keep is left standing. I don't know what's going to happen tonight, and I barely care anymore. I barely care. It's just like, you know, you've been looking at a train wreck for X amount of time, and to not look at the last piece of it just feels like, well, fuck it, why not? But I don't care anymore. I don't care anymore. It's sad. It's sad. And I heard from one of the other critics that, like, these fucks are the ones that are doing the new Star Wars. Well, big surprise there, considering what's been happening with Star Wars. Let's reward idiots, because we have a fucking planet full of idiots who no longer have the mental capacity to comprehend deep plots or good writing or emotional character development. Was there a single piece of that episode that wasn't 100% totally predictable? Just like, well, this is what's going to happen next. Yep, it happened. It's like these little things need to be fulfilled. Yep, let's do it. Even if it's in the most improbable way possible, such as Euron. I can't even talk about it without laughing. Euron coming to shore in the exact same spot at the exact same time that Jaime Lannister is making his way to a secret entrance to King's Landing. That's where fucking Euron Greyjoy washes up to shore. The only survivor, by the way. That's fucking convenient. The conversation between them isn't even worth mentioning. Fuck it, I'm exhausted. This is just terrible. It's just terrible. Just terrible. It's just so fucking terrible.